Just begin back to a new 1203 Barrett TV revival episode. And in this episode, I am going to be talking about two of the biggest villains of Sly Cooper, Clockwerk and the Paradox, and how they have similar plans. If you think about it, they're quite similar to each other when it comes to their hatred towards and trying to destroy the Cooper line, right? The whole Cooper line, and Clockwerk's hatred towards Sly and his family, and how he was the one that took out Sly's parents, right? If you think about it, and the Paradox wanting to erase the Cooper line entirely because he blamed the Coopers for his dad's mishaps. And again, both of them having similarities to each other. If you just and again, how the Paradox also came from a family of thieves, quite similar to how Sly came from a bunch of family of thieves. But again, without his father, he had nobody to teach him the family business, and of course, he acted like a law-abiding citizen. But of course, he formed his own syndicate, and of course, with the help of his so-called friends, being able to take the canes of Sly's ancestors to be able to erase them from his existence, to wipe him out completely. Again, basically having his own hatred towards the Cooper gang, or to the Cooper legacy, right? Which, again, is quite similar. They're quite similar to each other if you think about it, which I just find unique. That's what I find unique with the Paradox. And, of course, Clockwerk. How they both have something in common, basically. How they both have a hatred on the Cooper legacy, right? Sly's family, and wanting to wipe them out entirely before, Sly managed to stop them. And speaking of, I also wanted to talk about this. Speaking of Clockwerk, if you do not know, which there's a lot of people that may not know about this, but Clockwerk is actually an Easter egg in Sly 4. Yes, in all 5 episodes, you can actually see different locations. If you look very closely in certain areas, you can find Clockwerk just stalking, basically, just looking off of buildings and stuff. Wouldn't this be pretty cool if this was like a hint? I've actually told one of my subscribers, one of my friends about this, but what if this was like a hint towards Clockwerk's return? Because if you think about it, Sly ended up in ancient Egypt, right? Sly is trapped in ancient Egypt, where one of the very first ancestors are, and of course, the basically the birthplace area of Clockwerk, right? If you think about it as well. So what if Sly 5 had the return of Clockwerk, right? Which I know a lot of people definitely would want to see Clockwerk actually return, because they didn't really. A lot of people I've seen were kind of disappointed of how Clockwerk didn't make a return in Sly 2, and Neela took over, right? But not Clockwerk himself. But people definitely would want to see, when I've seen people like the idea of Clockwerk actually, coming back in his entire, even though his body parts, his robot parts were destroyed. But I mean, look at Sly 4 though. I mean, we see Clockwerk as an Easter egg in the background in different time periods, right? In the different timelines, in the different episodes, right? So, just a little fun idea. But again, I definitely wanted to talk about this, how Clockwerk and La Paradox definitely have something in common when it comes to these two villains, I would say. But yeah, I'd like to know what y'all think. Catch you next one.